Guys, I wanted to do a little screen recording for you to show you some of the things that you can do with fonts in Illustrator to help you out with the Letterforms project. So the first thing I did is open Illustrator, and then I'm going to start a new document. And I can just make it 8.5 by 11. That's fine. That's what we've been using. All right, the text tool or type tool is right here, the letter T. So just make sure that you have that selected. And then just click anywhere, and I'm gonna just type my name. You might just type a single letter for the project. Then I'm gonna select that, and I'm gonna use my two fingers on my trackpad to kind of scoot that over a little bit so I can see a little better. And what I wanna do is bring down the character panel here. So bring down the character panel, and you can see all kinds of different things. The first thing that I usually like to do, just so I can see before I start really getting into fonts, is increase the text size or font size. So I'm just going to select this, and I'll raise it up to, I don't know, 48, just so I can see what's going on. I'm going to kind of scoot this over here, see a little better. All right, so in the font or character panel, let's first look at different fonts that we can do. So right here, the set the font family is what you want to click, and it gives you all kinds of different choices. I mean, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of different fonts that you can use. Some of them, like this ornamental one, you might choose just so you can use one of the characters as a design element. So I think that's a good example actually of using Letterforms as a design element. I'm just going to choose one that I like. How about this punk rock one? And then I also have some choices. Well, sometimes I'll have some choices here, regular, or let me choose a different one. And see if I have any other choices. Sometimes it'll give me the option, italic. I can do regular, bold italic, all these different options within that font. Okay, so if you don't like that font, there's lots of different things that you can choose from. You can also find more fonts, and so you might find a font in here that's not actually downloaded or installed on your Illustrator. And what you would do is come over here, and I like how it gives you a preview of what the text looks like. You can actually change that too. You can make it say typography, or you can say the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, which uses all the letters in the alphabet. That's why they use that term. Or you can do it like that. But I usually kind of like to see the selected text is what I'm going to be working with. So let's say I like this Abigail regular, and I want to activate that. So I go over to the cloud and I click activate. Yes, okay, I want to do that. Sometimes it takes a little while for it to actually activate, so it might not be ready right away, but that is definitely something that you can do. And you can also find similar fonts. Let's say I really like that one, but I want something maybe a little different. I can show similar fonts, and it'll show me other things that are kind of within that family. So there's lots of different things that you can use to find the fonts that you want. Okay, I'm just gonna select, I like this Paranoia one. All right, so once I have the font that I want, then I can look at other things in this character panel. We already looked at font size, and you can increase that incrementally like this. You can use some of these preset sizes, or you can actually type in, let's say 72 is not big enough for me. I can set that at say 200, and then just when you hit enter, then it'll set that. I'll go back to my character panel, and I'm going to reset that back down to something like 60 where I can see everything. All right, the other things that you can do within that are set the kerning. So this is actually, they call it tracking. There's a separate thing you can do with kerning, but you need to have it, right now it'll only let me do automatic. So we're going to set the kerning using tracking. And kerning just means the space in between the letters. And you might have seen signs where the letters smash together or maybe are too far apart, and it alters the way that you read the words. That can be important. So again, you can do it incrementally. You can do preset. You want them all smashed together, or you want it really spaced out. Or again, you can just type in whatever you want, and 0 would be whatever the font is designed to be. Okay, so that's tracking and or kerning. You can also adjust the vertical scale, and same kind of thing. You have the same options as to how you adjust that. You can flatten it if you like. So even within a font, you have a lot of different things that you can do. This is going to be stretching out the actual letters, not the space between them, but the actual letters themselves get spaced out this way. Okay, set that back to 0. Whoops, I made a mistake. I want to hit Command Z and go back. Okay, go back to my character panel. Oh, 100% is what I wanted. You can also rotate things. See how that rotates the text? So that might be something that could come in handy in a design. You can set the baseline. So this would be like if you wanted to do subscript or posts or like trademark or something like that, or copyright, that would be above the baseline. So you can adjust that. And then there's all kinds of things that you can do. You can make everything all caps. I think this font is naturally all caps anyway. You can do small caps. This is the small script and upper script, superscript, that's what they call it. Superscript and subscript. All kinds of different things that you can do. Underline. So just play around with all of that stuff. Okay, one more thing on this tutorial, which is that maybe you don't like the fonts that you have in Adobe. And so let me move this around. I'm going to go over here to my selection tool and just kind of move that down so I can see a little better. Maybe you don't like the fonts that you have in Adobe, so you want to look for fonts on the internet. So open up an internet tab, and I want to find something that's like a silly font. Okay, so there are lots of different fonts websites that you can use. FontSpace is one, 1001 Fonts. Dafont, D-A-F-O-N-T is another one. I don't see that one coming up, but that's another one that I've used a lot before. And I'm just going to click on this. You can usually kind of tell if you go onto a website and it's, doesn't look legit, then I would not use that. If they say that you have to download something other than the font in order to use the font, don't do that. Okay, so one thing I want to point out here is that a lot of these fonts will tell you whether it's for personal use or not. And so that's something that you need to watch. You can use it for personal use. What that means is that you cannot use it for commercial use. So if you're going to make money on this, then you need to pay to use that font. But we are not probably going to do that. So I'm just going to download the font, and it's going to download right into my downloads folder, or just right here at the bottom of my window, and that's a zip file. So when I click on that, it's going to open this. It's going to open it in my downloads. What I want to do is open the TTF file. So I'm going to double click that, and that's going to open it in Fontbook. And so all I need to do is just hit install font, and it will do that for me. It's called Dumb and Silly. It's a good name for that font. All right, then hopefully when I go back, sometimes again they take a little time to upload, but hopefully when I go back to this, I can select the font again, go into my character panel, and I hope that I will see the Dumb and Silly font. I have to go down here. You could actually type it in up there. There it is right there, Dumb and Silly Regular. Okay, and then again I have all these other different things that I can do with it, and adjust it further from there. Okay, so that is how to select different fonts and how to do some just basic adjustments on the fonts, and I'll do another tutorial showing how to do some of the other skills that I want you to do in this project. All right, thanks.